Jaylen Brown is breaking out this season. Let's get into this. Jaylen Brown was drafted 3rd overall in the 2016 NBA draft by the Boston Celtics, which was originally the Brooklyn Nets pick that got traded to the Celtics in that KG and Paul Pierce deal. Coming into the NBA, Jaylen Brown was a really hyped prospect due to the fact that he was extremely athletic and a really great defender. But his first few seasons with the Boston Celtics, he really started off slow, only averaging 6 points per game in his first season and 14 points per game in his second season, which was a little bit of an increase. Jaylen Brown is known for being an extremely hard worker, and ever since the 2019 NBA season, where he really broke out to averaging 20 points per game on 48% from the field, he really started to improve his game and take his game to the next level. But this season, he's almost had another breakout from last season. He's been averaging 24, almost 25 points per game this season on a more efficient 49% from the field, along with passing the ball better, averaging 3.4 assists per game. As I said before, when Jaylen Brown was coming into the NBA, he was known as a great defender and just a super athletic guy, but now when you look at him this season, he really improved. You just look at his handling now compared to where he was when he came into the NBA, and it's such a significant change. He really worked hard on it. Then you look at other aspects of his game, like his shooting ability, which also took a significant jump from where it was. Coming into the NBA, he wasn't necessarily known as a shooter, but now he's shooting really well, especially from 3, where he really improved his game. This season, Jaylen Brown shooting an incredible 40% from 3, and especially for a guy who wasn't necessarily known as a shooter coming out of college, that's a real significant improvement. And when you look at his 3-point shooting, as I said, and his ball handling improvements, and now as well as you also see his playmaking improvements and his ability to run the offense much better than he did before, he just looks way more calm and poised out there, handling the ball and really setting up the offense. Somewhat similar to Kawhi, Jaylen Brown is really starting to be a star in this league, and teams are starting to notice it, and he's seeing a lot more double teams, and his improved playmaking ability gives him the ability to kick out to open shooters when he's posting up or when he's isolating, and then get wide open shots for his teammates and easy buckets. The Celtics are still a young and ascending team with their main core players basically in the same age range, but the fact that Jaylen Brown is really stepping up his game and getting significantly better means that he's also having a bigger voice in the locker room, and he's also got way more confidence in that sense as well. When the Celtics bring in players that are younger than Jaylen Brown or not as good as Jaylen Brown and trying to be an up-and-coming player, Jaylen Brown's a perfect guy to look to, because when he came into the NBA, he had high expectations but started off pretty slow, and look where he is now, and this is all due to the fact that he worked so hard. It's not luck necessarily. When previously it was definitely clearly Jason Tatum's team, and it still is. Tatum is definitely better than Jaylen Brown at the moment, but I still think the fact that Jaylen Brown is really improving his game is really bringing him up in that conversation. Now when you look at Jaylen Brown play basketball, he's so much more poised and calm out there. He gets in the post, gets to his spots, and pulls up for mid-range or whatever he wants. If he wants to get to the basket, he gets to the basket. He's patient, and he does whatever the defense gives him. But on the other hand, when Jaylen Brown feels that his team really needs him to score, he really steps up his game and really gets to the basket at ease, because he has that handling ability as well as him being super athletic, so he could easily get to the basket and blow by people and finish with an and-one finishes, because he could also dunk over people, as well as his finishing also improved this season. Jaylen Brown has formed himself somewhat of a signature move with that post turnaround fadeaway, similar to Michael Jordan or Kobe or Kawhi or whoever. A lot of players do that. A lot of superstar players really do that move. But you could really tell that Jaylen Brown has really worked on that move tirelessly, because you see him out there hitting that shot with ease and really efficient with it. And when you look at the Boston Celtics roster, they don't necessarily have a true playmaker on that team that can really get the guys settled down and get to the ball to Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown's hands at the right spots. They do have Kemba Walker, but he has had injury issues this season, as well as him being more of a scoring point guard and not necessarily a facilitating point guard. And now you really see the significance of Jaylen Brown's playmaking ability and how important it is, especially to a team that's lacking a true playmaker on their squad. But obviously playmaking is extremely important in general for a superstar player. As I talked about in another video with Kawhi, when Kawhi Leonard really figured out how to get the ball out of his hands when when he was getting doubled and triple teamed, it really opened up the offense and got guys wide open shots, and that obviously helps your team win a championship. I just can't stress enough how important playmaking ability is for a guy like Jaylen Brown, because when you just see a guy like Kawhi Leonard, who is pretty similar to Jaylen Brown in a lot of ways, when he really got his playmaking ability, or at least decent passing ability, you see how much it changed his game and really changed the Clippers offense and really opened things up. When we watch Jaylen Brown this season and even last season, I really do think we're seeing a superstar in the making with this guy. When you see some of the best players in the league, you really see a common archetype of a two-way wing. When you look at guys like LeBron James, of course, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum even, Giannis, Paul George, even Jason Tatum, Ben Simmons, they're all similar to the fact obviously they're the best players in the league, but on top of that, they're all great on both ends. And when you really want to be one of the best players in the league, you really need that. And when you look at Jaylen Brown, I feel like he's a real superstar in the making with that. Obviously, he came into the NBA as an extremely good defender, but now when you look at his offensive game the last 2 years, he really rounded into form. He's really efficient now. He's a really good playmaker, and he could just get to the basket and get his shot up whenever he wants. One thing I will say though about Jaylen Brown this season is the Celtics have been underperforming this year, and this is really the year that Jaylen Brown is kind of the best player on the team because Tatum is kind of in and out with injuries. But to his defense, I will say this season the Celtics really need a playmaker, a true point guard that can really get everyone set, and they don't have that, as well as they also need a center, which they don't have as well. Because I have seen that criticism of Jaylen Brown around the league where people are saying the first year that Jaylen Brown is really breaking out and being the main option on the team, the Celtics are underperforming, so maybe these are just empty stats. But I personally don't think so. I think the main reason for this is obviously Tatum's not in the lineup all the time. He's been in and out of it. But the main reasons are the fact that the Celtics don't have a center and they also don't have a real true playmaker. But overall, I really like Jaylen Brown's game going forward, and this season he completely broke out and is really turning into a superstar in the making in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Jaylen Brown could be a real superstar going forward? Or do you not think that Jaylen Brown could really be a superstar in the long run? But anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Until the next time, peace out guys.